Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with another installment of Shared Trait Spotlight. And we are working our way through last year's Spider-Man Venom Absolute Carnage set and the various involved traits there. And today, we are focusing on two traits, actually, and looking back at their older versions. Those two traits being Call and Help from the Spider-Verse and Call and Help from the Venom-Verse. So Colin, excuse me. So the Call and Help from the Spider-Verse trait first appeared in Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Spider-Man and a few of his allies, a few of his Spider-empowered allies, as well as all of the Chases, which were alternate versions of Spider-Man, all had the trait Call and Help from the Spider-Verse, as you can see there. The way it worked, the way it reads, and the way it read then: once per turn for all characters with this trait, when Spider-Man hits an opposing character, after action is resolved, you may roll a d6 that can't be re-rolled. On a 3 through a 6, place another friendly character with the Spider-Man family keyword adjacent to this character. Okay, alright. Now, it doesn't have to be another character with the trait, just someone with the keyword. So, then the Earth X Chases were all Venomized characters, and they all had the Call and Help from the Venom-Verse trait, which worked the same way, just targeting characters with Venom in their name. And in fact, there were two in the set that were named Venom. There was the Common Prime, as well as the Super Rare that came with the Venom symbiote. Then along came, the next Spider-Man set, Absolute Carnage, and it was revisited. Both traits actually, especially this Venom was going to be kind of a big point, was in the damn title of in the damn name of the set. It was Spider-Man and Venom, not just Spider-Man. However, the trait changed. The traits changed. No longer was it simply once per turn for every character with this trait, but rather just once per turn. So the way it works now, as per the Dimensional Watch, which grants the reworded version of the ability of the trait. When this character hits an opposing character, if no character has been placed this turn, after resolutions you may roll a d6. Now it can be re-rolled, but there are very few ways to re-roll it. On a 3 through a 6, place another friendly character with the Spider-Man family keyword adjacent. Okay, alright. So yeah, you get one shot at it in a turn, no matter how many characters might have the trait. And Call and Help from the Venom-Verse is the same way. Now, there's another version. There's a slightly different version as well of Call and Help from the Venom-Verse that does appear on Venom Doctor Strange. Summon Help from the Venom-Verse. It works the same way, but instead of placing a friendly figure with Venom in their name adjacent, you can instead choose a character from your sideline whose name includes Venom and place them adjacent. At the beginning of your next turn, you then return them to your sideline. I have a few thoughts as to who on this team I might include in a sideline for that, but yeah. Anywho. There is also one other Call and Help trait, but it only appears on one figure that I sadly do not own. That figure being the Agent Venom Super Rare from last year's Fantastic Four set. This version of the trait is called Call and Help from me. And it works much like the original version of the Call and Help traits. You don't have the if no other character has been placed this turn caveat. I think, though, it's not because of how the trait, not because they weren't sure how they're going to reword the trait. I think it's more just because of how the trait works. For one thing, it actually kind of works the opposite of how the other call and help traits work. When a friendly character hits, you roll a d6. It can't be I don't think it can be re-rolled. But on a 3 through 6, you can place Agent Venom adjacent. So because of the fact that it's after it's done like that, then that means that part of it also, since it is because of that figure's attack or of the other figure's attack, and maybe they were placed with telekinesis. Well, that said, it kind of I think it's more. I do kind of think that it might actually be more just they hadn't figured out how they were to change the call and help trait yet. But yeah, because each of these could be placed with telekinesis, and it would nullify the trait. So yeah. What now? An interesting point is that I don't have any figures with either the original version of the Venom-Verse trait, or any figures anymore with the new version of the Spider-Verse trait. So, anyway, I did end up building a couple teams for each trait. Oh crud! I should have forgot. 140, 220, 320. Okay, so it looks like we got a 600-point Spider-Man family team and a 400-point Codex team. Now, the calling help from the Venom-Verse trait really can only work one of two ways. With older figures included, it could also work with a monster trait, with the monster keyword, thanks to Venom Cap. For now. As stated in last night's building the team, that is changing, and in fact, he is being errated to because of this, because of the changes. The other way is with just figures from the Absolute Carnage set that have the Codex keyword, and obviously also Agent Venom for the Fantastic Four set, who also has the Codex keyword. But anyway, so let's take a look at the Spider-Man family team first. Starting things off, we've got Black Cat from way back in the Deadpool set. Black Cat comes in at 65 points. She's got the Defenders, Heroes for Hire, Marvel Diva, and Spider-Man family keywords. We've got she has the Defenders team ability as well, and she's got improved movement towards elevated hindering terrain. Though, as stated soon, that hindering terrain, ignoring hindering terrain won't matter. But yeah. She is one of the older cards. We got no die to look at, but she starts off with some stealth, which I think is way to flurry. On attack, we open up with nothing, but she clicks into Blaze Claw's Fangs. Defense, she opens up with combat reflexes. And, oh boy, I forgot to. Oh no, she starts off with Blaze Claw's Fangs on attack. On defense, she opens up with combat reflexes, which gives way to probability control. She's got combat reflexes. On damage, she's got probability control, which gives way to outwit. Okay. Next up, we've got Spider-Man. It's Miles Morales. Miles comes in at 65 points as the Spider-Man ally and Ultimate's team ability, as well as the Avengers, Champions, Shield, Spider-Man family, and Ultimate's keywords. He also has improved movement and ignores elevated terrain. And because the Ultimate ability has improved movement and improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. Now we have a trait, Dimensional Travel Watch, which allows him to start the game with the Dimensional Watch equipped at no cost. Yes, he will be. Looking at his dial, we open up with a few clicks of special speed power, a slightly different genetically engineered spider, which gives him plasticity, size, and stealth. Get a couple clicks of charge, then we're back to the special speed power. On attack, we open up with the special power Shocking Web Blast, which gives a precision strike. When he's given a move action and moves 5 or less squares, after resolutions, he can use Incapacitate as a range attack at no cost, and may use it to target all opposing characters in range and line of fire. That's actually really cool and can be extremely useful. We get a couple clicks of Super Strings after that, and then back to Shocking Web Blast. Defense-wise, we open up with Super Senses, followed by Combat Reflexes. Damage-wise, we've got some top dial Outwit, followed by some end dial Shape Change. Okay. Now, both Black Cat and Spider and Miles offer up team abilities that or various characters would behoove various characters to copy. Though, to be completely honest, more than likely, Miles will be copying. If anything, Miles might copy Defenders just to boost up Black Cat's defense. So, yeah. Next up, we've got Agent Venom. Agent Venom comes in at 65 points, has the Team Player Wildcard ability, as well as improved movement, ignores elevated Henry Crane, and improved targeting. May make range attacks out of adjacency, including to target adjacent opposing characters. We have the Avengers, Codex, Guardians of the Galaxy, Shield, Spider-Man Family, Monster, and Soldier keywords, and followed by 2 traits. First into the battle. At the end of your turn, you may roll a d6, move Agent Venom up to half the result. If it's your first turn, move him up to the full result. Next up, Symbiote, which gives him plasticity and shape change. That's actually one keyword we'll be looking at, a trait we'll be looking at another time. Looking at his dial, he is an alter ego figure, but we're not focusing on the alter ego dial. So, on attack, we open up on speed, we open up with some stealth, followed by running shot. On attack, we open up with nothing but eventually he clicks into penetrating psychic blast. Defensively speaking, we open up with he's got Indomitable, so built-in willpower. Opens up with Invulnerability, which then gives way to the special defense power Go Down Swinging, which grants him Super Senses and Toughness. And on damage, we've got a couple clicks at the beginning of Ranged Combat Expert. Okay, all right. Next up, we've got Spider-Man. Spider-Man here comes in at 70 points. He's got the Spider-Man ally team ability, as well as the Avengers, Spider-Man Family, and Scientist keywords. As well as improved movement, ignores elevated terrain. He has the Calling Help from the Spider-Verse trait. Looking at his dial, we get a couple clicks of Charge, followed by a couple clicks of Flurry, followed by a couple clicks of Sidestep. On defense, or on attack, we open up we've got a couple clicks of Super Strength at the top, and that's it. Defensively speaking, we open up with a couple clicks of the special power My Spider Sense is going off like crazy, which grants Spider-Man can use Super Senses. When he does, increase the result of his roll by 1 for every 100 points of the attacking character's cost. Okay. That then gives way to a couple clicks of regular Super Senses. Then we're back to the special power and finishing off with one final click of regular Super Senses. On damage, we open up with a couple clicks of Close Combat Expert, and we got some end dial clicks of Exploit Weakness. Okay. Alright. I think he's someone who will definitely be benefiting from some of the rules changes. Not as much as others, but a little bit. Next up, we've got Silk. Who, you might ask, is Silk? Silk is a young woman by the name of Cindy Moon. She was also bitten by the same spider that bit Peter Parker. And she gained slightly different powers. She was raised by Ezekiel Sims. Basically, she's somewhat related to the whole spider totem thing as well as Peter. An interesting fact is that apparently the two of them when the two of them are in close proximity to one another, they have to seriously fight the urge to, jump each other's bones. Which, as much as I'm a fan of Peter and MJ, or even Peter and Felicia, it's an amusing thought just because, they basically, the source of their powers basically saying, hey, screw and you two should screw and make more like yourselves. So yeah. Anyways, Silk comes in at 70 points. She has the Spider-Man ally team ability, making her a wild card, as well as the Spider-Man family keyword. She also has calling out from the Spider-Verse trait, looking at her dial. We get a couple clicks of running shot, followed by a couple clicks of sidestep. On attack, we have a couple clicks of the special power Thin Finger Webs, which allows her to use incapacitating. When she does, she can use it normally, or she can use it as if she had 3 targets, but doesn't give an action token to characters with 0 action tokens. Okay. On defense, we've got a nicely sized block of super senses, followed by a couple clicks of regeneration. Damage-wise, we open up the special power Precognitive Spider Sense, which allows Silk to use probability control. During an opponent's turn, she may use this probability control to re-roll her use of super senses instead of an opponent's attack roll or breakaway roll. That then gives way to a couple mid-dial clicks of Close Combat Expert. Okay, alright. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Next up, we've got the Scarlet Spider. Oh dear God, did they really... Maybe. They've been using that skull for a while, though. Scarlet Spider comes in at 80 points, has the Spider-Man ally team ability as well as these new Warriors of Spider-Man family keywords. He also has improved movement, ignores elevated terrain, hindering terrain, and outdoor blocking terrain. And we have the Calling Help in the Spider-Verse trait. Looking at his dial, we got a few clicks of running shot, followed by a few clicks of charge. On attack, we've got a few clicks of the special power Impact Webbing. When Scarlet Spider makes a range attack, choose one for each hit target. Give that target an action token, or that character can't be moved or placed until your next turn. Okay. So either immobile, the hit target's either immobile or gets an action token. Not too shabby. On defense, we open up a few clicks of super senses, followed by a few clicks of combat reflexes. On damage, we've got nothing to start with, but at the end of the dial, we get a couple clicks of Close Combat Expert. Okay, alright. Moving on, we've got Ghost Spider. Ghost Spider comes in at 85 points, has the Spider-Man ally team ability, as well as the Spider-Man family and celebrity keywords. She's got improved movement, ignores elevated and hindering terrain, as well as improved targeting, ignores characters. And she has the Dimensional Travel Watch trait, same as Miles Morales. And yes, she will also be starting off with the Dimensional Travel Watch. Looking at her dial, she is also a Secret Identity character, but yeah, we're not bothered with that. On speed, she opens up with a special power, You Don't Get to Like My Haircut. When she's given a move action and move 5 or less after resolution, she may make an attack. Okay, that then gives way to hypersonic speed. On attack, we open up with some telekinesis, followed by a few clicks of precision strike. She's got Indomitable. We got a full run of super senses. On damage, we open up with some probability control, followed by some perplex. Okay, alright. Not too shabby. Finally, we've got Silver Sable. So to be perfectly honest, Silver Sable is on the team just because she's got leadership. Silver Sable comes in at 100 points. She's got the Spider-Man ally team ability as well as the Heroes for Hire Outlaws, Spider-Man family, Wild Pack, Ruler, and Soldier keywords. She has a trait, Wild Pack Assemble. Adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with Silver Sable can use the team ability she is copying. Okay. She's got one of the older cards, so we can't look at the dial itself, but we open up with Stealth, which then gives way to Sidestep on speed. On attack, we open up with Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by Blaze Claw's Fangs. Defensively speaking, we open up with Mastermind, which gives way to Willpower. Then on damage, we open up with Leader of the Wild Pack, a special power to grant her leadership and outwit. When she uses leadership, for each other friendly character that can use leadership, modify the result for her d6 roll by +1. Oops. And then that gives way, at least eventually, to Ranged Combat Expert. Okay. Alright. So that is our Spider-Verse team. Now we have a Venom-Verse team. Now the Venom-Verse team, because of how few... I wanted to focus much more on characters who... At least for the most part on characters that were named Venom, not just characters with the Codex keyword. So yeah. And there aren't too. Oh, I don't have. I have all the ones from. I've got well most of the ones from Absolute Carnage, and none of the ones from Earth. Well, okay, I've got the Prime and the Super Rare from Earth X, but none of the chases. So yeah, and none of them have the Codex keyword. So, and the new rules haven't gone into effect yet. So I'm still operating off of the old rules. So let's take a look at our Venom-Verse team, starting with Venom Groot. Venom Groot comes in at 35 points. Oh my, okay. Well, hell, shit. I thought he came in at 40. Okay, well, never mind. Damn. That's like, wow. Oh well. Anyway, so Venom Groot comes in at 35 points. He has the Codex, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Monster keywords, as well as improved movement or its elevated hindering terrain. We got 3 traits. Symbiote, which grants him plasticity and shape change. Call and help from the Venom-Verse. And to remind you how that reads, when Venom Groot hits an opposing character, if no character has been placed this turn after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 3 through a 6, place another friendly character whose name includes Venom adjacent. The next trait we've got is regrown from a twig and from a drop. When Venom Groot is KO'd, instead of putting him in your KO area, turn him to click number 1 and put him on this card. This game, when another friendly character uses Call and Help from the Venom-Verse and succeeds, they may instead choose to place Venom Groot from this card. Each time he's KO'd, he's scored. So, yeah. Looking at his dial, we got a full run of stealth, full run of poison, some toughness followed by combat reflexes. On damage, we have a special power for the whole dial: fly traps and vine snares. When an opposing character is placed within 4 squares of Venom Groot, choose 1. Modify that character's attack -2 this turn, or after resolutions, deal this character 1 penetrating damage. If that character occupies permanent hindering terrain, choose both. Now, this actually did get errated, so that it was kind of a once per turn type of thing, because with the way knockback was working, a character was placed each turn in each square, so you were getting things like, oh, yeah, you got knocked back for 5. Well, because Venom Groot, and because all those squares you've been knocked back are within 4 of Venom Groot, well, you just took 5 damage too. Or you just took 5 penetrating damage. So, yeah. The only way around it would have been having been invincible. So. But yeah, he got errated so that it doesn't do as much damage. But anyways, moving on. We've got Venom Ghost Spider. This is why the Fast Forces version of Ghost Spider has the Codex keyword, by the way. Because she does have an artificial symbiote. Venom Ghost Spider comes in at 70 points, has the Codex, Spider-Man family, celebrity, and monster keywords, as well as improved movement, Ignores elevated hindering terrain. We get 3 traits. We got Call and Help from Venom-Verse, Symbiote, as well as another trait. We march to the same beat. Giant Reach, 3. If Venom Ghost Spider has no action tokens, she can use Battle Fury. She has exactly 1 action token, she can use Flurry. She has 2 action tokens, she can use Stealth. And actually, I think instead we will be using the Soldier instead of the Octopus Arms. Oh. Poopy. There. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so looking at Venom Ghost Spider's dial, we open up with some charge, followed by a few clicks of sidestep. On attack, we alternate between Blaze Claws, Fangs, and Quake. On defense, she's got Indomitable, so built-in willpower. We open up with Super Senses, then I got a couple of clicks of Combat Reflexes, back to Super Senses, then back to Combat Reflexes, and then we finish off with 2 clicks of Regeneration. Sadly, she has nothing on damage, though. And we'll get into the Soul Gem. We'll also be including, for Venom-Verse, we'll be including the Soul Gem, which we'll get into here in a sec, after we look at the rest of the figures. Next up, we've got Venom. It's the Prime. Actually, kind of thinking maybe I should have included the regular, the non-Prime instead, and yeah, we probably could have found a few other things to throw in, but oh well. So Venom comes in at 80 points, has the Spider-Man Ally Team ability, as well as the Codex, Maximum Carnage, Sinister Syndicate, Spider-Man Family, Monster Reporter keywords, and improved movement ignores elevated terrain and hindered terrain. We also have the Symbiote Codex Hunter trait, which uses plasticity and shape change, and when he KOs an opposing character after resolutions, heal 1 click. If the character has a Codex keyword, heal him 3 clicks instead. Now, he is a secret identity character, but we won't be worrying about the secret identity dial. Looking at his dial, we get a few clicks of special speed power, driven mad by null. Charge, but do not have speed. When Venom uses it, deal after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to each adjacent character, friendly and opposing. Okay. Then we get a couple clicks of regular charge and a couple clicks of regular flurry. On attack, we open up with some blades, followed by some quake, followed by some steel energy. On defense, he's got Indomitable, so built-in willpower. We open up with invulnerability, then that gives way to toughness, then gives way to the special defense power. The symbiote is taking over. It's a stop click, grants toughness. As a free action, you can roll a d6. On a 1, give Venom an action token. 2 through 5, choose 1 to last until your next turn. Impervious or regeneration. 6, heal 2 clicks. Okay. Then we have some mid to late dial close combat expert on damage. Alright. Next up, we've got Venom Doctor Strange. I love the way this sculpt looks. I really do. So Venom Doctor Strange comes in at 90 points. Has the Defenders and Mystics team abilities, as well as the Avengers, Codex, Defenders, Midnight Suns, Monster, and Mystical keywords. He also has improved targeting, range attacks out of adjacency, including the target adjacent opposing characters. We have a couple traits, Symbiote and Summon Help from the Venom-Verse. Summon Help allows you to pull a character with Venom in their name from your sideline. Now, I do recall hearing some argument about whether or not, or some disagreement as to whether or not it had to be a character. It could be a character whose name included Venom, but it was hyphenated, like She-Venom or Anti-Venom. So, yeah. I know of at least one figure I'll definitely be including on this. For the sidelines, this will be the Common Venom. The Common Prime from... well, two the Common Venom from Absolute Carnage, as well as the Square Venom from Earth X. The Common Prime Venom from Earth X is also a possibility, but if anything, I'd probably be kind of careful just to make sure that the other Prime Venom I'm using is already KO'd. But yeah, anyway. So looking at Venom Doctor Strange's dial, we open up with a click of Running Shot, followed by some Sidestep, then Running Shot and some Sidestep. On attack, we've got a few clicks of Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by a click of Telekinesis, back to Psychic Blast, and wrapping up with Pulse Wave. Defense, we've got Super Senses, followed by Inertial Deflection, then back to Super Senses, then Inertial Deflection, and then a final click of Regeneration. And then on damage, we open up with Special Power. It was my decision to bring you all together, which gives him leadership and probability control. Get that for a couple clicks, then Outwit, then Special Power, then a couple more clicks of Outwit. Not too shabby. I don't like that he doesn't have willpower in any way, shape, or form, especially at 90 points, but it is what it is. Final figure, Venom Captain Marvel. Venom Captain Marvel here comes in at 110 points. Has the Avengers Codex, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kree, Cosmic, Monster keywords, as well as improved movement, ignores and destroys blocking terrain. We've got 3 traits. We've got Symbiote, we've got Calling Help from the Venom-Verse, as well as Higher, Further, Hungrier, which gives her Steel Energy. Then looking at her dial, we've got a couple clicks of hypersonic speed, followed by a couple clicks of charge, followed by a few clicks of sidestep. On attack, we open up with nothing, but that gives way to a few clicks of the special power Tongue Sash, which gives her Quake and allows her to deal penetrating damage. Defense, she's got Indomitable. Opens up with a couple clicks of Invincible, followed by a few clicks of Toughness. Damage-wise, we open up with Probability Control, which then gives way to Perplex. Okay, alright. Now there is, like I said, one more thing to look at within the confines of the set. The Soul Gem, which will be going on Venom Ghost Spider. So the Soul Gem costs 10 points, modifies defense by +1, Steel Energy with close or range attacks. When the trigger hits, if the attack roll was 10 or higher, after resolutions, heal 1 click. Okay. Originally, I was planning to give either her or Venom the octopus arms for, have some flurry. But the more I thought about it, I decided, that Steel Energy would be a lot more useful. So yeah, especially when I noticed that Venom Ghost Spider didn't have any kind of didn't really have much in the way of healing abilities. She does some regen on her last couple clicks, but that's all. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.